Hi guys, this is Brother Corliss, and I just want to make a quick video after grading your reproductive study guides. Most of you did really well, probably because you've had this lesson before, but there's a couple things I want to make sure you know before you take the quiz. So the testes in the males, that's the gonads in the males, that's where the sex cells are created, the sperm cells, and it also produces testosterone. And the sperm cells are actually produced within the seminiferous tubules. And there's some cells in there you should know. There are the Sertoli cells, also sometimes called nurse cells. They help with the development of the sperm. And then there's also the interstitial cells or the Leydig cells, and they produce testosterone. And so the sperm is produced here in the seminiferous tubules, and then it will move into the epididymis where it matures. And then it will move into the vas deferens, and then to the ejaculatory duct, and then out through the urethra. This shows the process of meiosis for producing a sperm cell or a gamete, similar to mitosis that we learned about way back in week 3. But this time it goes through the process twice, so you're left with cells that have, instead of the same number of chromosomes, they have half the number of chromosomes. And that's so that when this sperm with 23 chromosomes meets an egg with 23 chromosomes, then the resulting zygote will have 46 chromosomes, which is the number that it needs. You should know the parts of the sperm. So the acrosome has enzymes, which is going to help it be able to penetrate the oocyte that's in the female. The nucleus is just carrying DNA. The middle piece has a lot of mitochondria. It's like the motor. And then the tail is like the propeller. So this is showing the ovarian cycle. So in females, you start with this primordial follicles, and you're actually born with those. And then every month as HCG is released, or sorry, not HCG, GnRH, which releases follicle stimulating hormone, which stimulates these follicles to mature. And then one each month will become a mature follicle and will eventually come to the edge of the ovary and actually release the oocyte. That's called ovulation. And then it will become the follicle cells, after the oocyte is released, become the corpus luteum, which is important for producing progesterone. So this figure shows on top there, that's the ovarian cycle, and on the bottom here is the uterine cycle. And you can see the hormones that are important. So estrogen and progesterone are the important ones for the uterine cycle. We can see the FSH is high here, and that causes the follicle to develop its follicle stimulating hormone. Luteinizing hormone peaks right here, and that's what causes ovulation. And then I mentioned the corpus luteum will produce progesterone, so the estrogen peaks first, and that helps this inner layer, this endometrium, inner layer of the uterus, to grow. And then as progesterone is released by the corpus luteum, that keeps this layer growing and staying thick, and that way it's ready for pregnancy. If fertilization doesn't happen, then you can see estrogen and progesterone levels fall, and this tissue kind of dies. That's what causes menstruation, and then the cycle repeats itself each month. This is the normal site of fertilization. So in the male, the sperm are known as gametes, and the oocytes in the female, those are known as gametes, and they would generally meet right here in the fallopian tube. And then this is, as the embryo develops, at this point technically it's called a blastocyst, but those two cells fuse to form a zygote, and then that's going to implant into the endometrium, and then kind of divide into two parts. This inner cell mass is actually going to become the baby. The outer part, the trophoblast, is going to become the amniotic sac. And one of its jobs is to secrete HCG, which is what's detected in pregnancy tests. And that HCG is going to go back to the corpus luteum and cause it to produce progesterone. That way this lining of the endometrium is maintained, and that's why there's no menstruation during pregnancy. And that enables the baby to stay there and grow. This is a close-up on part of the placenta. The placenta, its job is to, it delivers oxygen and nutrients to the baby, and then it takes the waste from the baby. It also produces some hormones, so the placenta actually produces progesterone. After about the 3rd month, it's producing enough progesterone to maintain the lining of the endometrium. Alright, good luck with this week's quiz.